Hi, and welcome back to Cat Run Figures. I'm your host, Caitlin, and today we are going to be reviewing Harley Quinn issue 20. So this is Blast from the Future Part 1. So before I get too in depth with the overall review, I just want to discuss this Frank Cho variant cover. Frank Cho has been doing an amazing job on the Harley variant covers. If you're not picking them up, I would definitely suggest that, or even going back and picking up some of his Wonder Woman work that he's done for Rebirth. Just spectacular covers. I'm obsessed with them. But getting right back on into the video, Harley Quinn deals with a future Bat Family-esque character. So, jumping right on into the story, we get to see Harley and Spoonsdale dealing with what happened in the last arc with the disappearance of all those individuals, all the homeless that were being eaten, unfortunately. And it's kind of a bittersweet ending. There was a lot of loss of life, a lot of loss of innocence. It was a really kind of sad arc, but ended up having a decent ending where they took down the bad guys. But continuing on, she gets back to her own home base back in Coney Island, and she's dressed up as a Harley nurse, which, if you're at all a fan of the Arkham video game style world, you will definitely appreciate the throwback with the costume. But she's nursing Red Tool, which, as you remember, he's kind of had a rough run of it in the Harley books recently, getting attacked by different things, having his arm hacked off by Harley in one issue. And, he's still there. He's still her friend and her backup whenever she needs him. But continuing on, we find out that her parents are coming to visit her, and she's not willing to put them up in a hotel. She wants them to stay with her, because putting them up in a hotel would just seem wrong to her. So she's decided she is going to have some normalcy and lack of chaos anywhere around her home. So that's just when she gets a call from Harley Sen, which, if you'll remember her at all from the Harley's Book of Harleys, she is a wackadoodle who is obsessed with Harley Quinn and just destroying her, wanting to become her. There's a whole story there. Check it out if you're at all interested. But she is psycho, like in a whole different realm as compared to Harley. But we find out that she has kidnapped Harley's ex-boyfriend Mason and his mother, who were both in witness protection. And she basically just called Harley up to tell her, I've got your people. And then she hangs up. So what is Harley supposed to do with that? How is she supposed to take care of it? So she shoos out Red Tool, telling him that she'll call him soon. And then she calls in a favor from Spoonsdale, which we can only guess. Clearly, she was asking him to look into Mason and his mother's disappearances and where Harley Sen could possibly be holding them. Continuing on, we get to see in Gotham City, and this strange, almost Batgirl-esque character shows up in the Batcave, and she's kind of fangirling out over all the history of the Batcave. So yes, we know she's from the future. She's drooling over the Batsuit and all of the old tech, and she's just talking about the history and what it means to be there, to actually be there in Batman's cave. So she hacks the Bat computer and she finds what she's been looking for, information on Harley Quinn. So apparently Harley Quinn did it. Harley Quinn did the one thing that no other person, or at least no other person in this timeline, has done. That is to kill the Batman. Or at least in the future, she's going to, according to this chick. So, back on Coney Island, Harley is busy trying to tidy up her apartment, and she's talking to Big Tony. She's just kind of informing him what's going on with her family. Big Tony's saying, are you sure having your parents staying here is the best idea? Since we moved in here, has this ever been a chill spot? Have we ever gone one day without one huge crazy disaster happening? You know, zombies, alien influences, any number of things happening. And she's saying, you know what? It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And she's so excited about it. She's excited about her parents being there. And she lets it slip what happened to Mason and his mother. Of course, Big Tony is a little concerned about that because, you know, everyone cared about Mason and everyone cared about Madame McGab, but there's not a whole hell of a lot they can do, and they're arguing over whether or not this is something they need to concern themselves over now. And then a bit of an explosion happens behind the two of them, and that is when we see her. And she has shown up to exact punishment on Harley Quinn for her future crimes of killing the Batman, of murdering the Batman. She is hereby sentenced to death. Kind of an awesome panel, though, right? I'm telling you, this chick has a upgraded Batgirl suit. So, anyone, Harley has no idea what this chick's talking about. Clearly, Batman is very much alive in this timeline. And she's saying, like, what the hell's your problem? Oh, yeah, great suit, you know? And she's telling him that if she dies now by her hands, the world will celebrate the occasion. And Harley is, like, thinking, you know, that's kind of shit. So, of course, she throws a bunch of stuffed animals at her in an attempt to flee. And what does she do? She zaps them all with these green energy beams out of her gloves, destroying a number of Harley Quinn's toys. So, a great moment. Harley runs up to the actual roof of her building where this Bat Family-esque character chases after her, and Harley actually begins to beat her with a crowbar, which, if you're at all a fan of the Bat Family, you will know why a clown character wielding a crowbar against a Bat Family member is kind of an iconic moment. But continuing on, we get to see the two women actually throwing down, and for a split second there, you know, you're a little concerned about Harley, but Harley is an amazing fighter in her own right, and she does not fight clean. Like, she fights dirty. She's Harley Quinn. But she does get the upper hand on her, and she tells her that, you know, Batman's alive. She's crazy. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. And, of course, this woman divulges the fact that she does know Harley's real name, which is Dr. Harlan Quinzel. And for some reason, Harley's kind of confused with the fact that she knows her doctor name. She knows her full legal name, which I kind of thought this was well known, but I guess to Harley it's a little confusing. So the two do end up fighting, and Harley does actually use the energy of her suit against her, knocking this woman unconscious. And she decides that, you know, she can't just go around killing, especially not killing this person, because if somebody has a Bat Family symbol across their chest, odds are Batman's gonna notice if they end up getting murdered. And she's actually in good with Batman right now, and she really doesn't want to change that up. So instead of actually killing her, she decides to load her up on her catapult. Yes, you will know if you read it all, any of the New 52 run or the current Rebirth run, you will know how Harley gets rid of all of the waste left over from all of her pets. Yes, she has an entire floor full of cats and dogs in her apartment building, and she does catapult off their waste in this catapult a good once a week. So she loads her up in her doggy duty catapult and just flings her across Coney Island. And, she's deciding she's going to go back downstairs and check on Big Tony. So that's when this woman comes to. So the next issue, I believe we're probably going to be seeing Harley's parents. And that's going to be an interesting combination. I also believe we're going to be seeing this new Bat Family-esque character from the future come about. I'm not quite sure if she is, in fact, a Batgirl, or maybe in the future the GDCP does get really involved with Batman, kind of like they did with Claptrap Gordon, the Batman that we all kind of tried to gloss over and forget ever happened at the end of the New 52. But I'm not going to get too involved with it, but there is a continuation of the Joker Loves Harley storyline written by Paul Dini at the end, which, as always, Paul Dini, just a fantastic writer, especially whenever he's writing a Harley Quinn story. That's his Girl Friday. But yeah, I've really been enjoying Harley Quinn's arc throughout Rebirth. I'm loving the fact that they did, in fact, keep Palmiotti and Connor on the book. I mean, they've really just helped with making this character that was already getting big in her own right and continuing her on as a forefront character in DC Comics. I'm really loving the hell out of the artwork. I mean, I showed off the Frank Cho cover, but even this Amanda Connor cover is fantastic. And just the way that they write her, she is a psychotic killer, but she also has a heart of gold, and she loves her pets, and she's got this amazing world that she's built up in their continuity, something that you don't really see that often for her, other than just Ivy or possibly Catwoman. You don't necessarily see her branching out and having her own, a life of her very own, which is something that she's really come into with Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti. So yeah, give me a like if you like this video, comment below and tell me whether or not you're currently reading Harley Quinn, and if you're enjoying it as much as I am, subscribe to my channel for more comic book content, or check out any of the older videos I have up for offer here on Cat Run Figures. And until next time, I'm your host, Caitlin. Bye!